do it. Hey, well, welcome to the Thrive Collective, entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders. This is your show designed to help you make more money, avoid costly mistakes, and also fully integrate your faith into your life and leadership. I am Rob Hughes, your host, and it's good to be with you. Today, we've got a very special guest for the Thrive Collective. I'm so excited to have Miss Danielle Mulvey with us today with the Profit First Nation, just to share insights, tips, ideas that can help you price your services, price your products more effectively. We're going to be talking the art of pricing your product. And as I think about this, Thrive Collective community, there's so much that goes into pricing. At the end of the day, if you're listening to this show, you're in business for yourself, likely, or you lead a business, you lead a team, and pricing becomes a natural part of that conversation. And if you've been listening for longer than a few seconds, you know the Thrive Collective is beyond just growing your business. We want to help you be more successful in all areas of life. But growing your business is a symptom of doing the right things, certainly stewarding the right things. In fact, if you could look at scriptures, you could see there's parable of the talents comes to mind that 3 people were given resources. One was given 5 bags of resource, one was given 2 bags of resource, and one was given 1. The 5 and the 2 doubled, they grew, they amplified the effectiveness of their resources, and as a result, they expanded that. And the third person took that 1 bag and buried it and did nothing with it. And ultimately, if you've read that parable, you know that third person was the one that got corrected, and the other 2 were praised. And so in the Thrive Collective community, we believe business is stewardship indeed, and pricing your product is a key piece of that stewardship. How are you going to grow your organization to the next level? And so I'm so excited to bring Danielle on the show. Danielle, beyond being a favored guest of the Thrive Collective, she's a seasoned entrepreneur who founded her first multi-million-dollar business at the age of 25, which was more than 20 years ago. Today, Danielle and her husband run several profitable businesses with over $40 million in annual revenue. She spends about 10 hours a week leading her A-player employees, A team. I love that. Overseeing the operations of her business, and the balance of her time is spent dedicated to helping business owners just like you through the Profit First Nation podcast, as the host of the Profit First Nation podcast. And also she helps $2 million plus organizations and companies scale profitably and bring their business to the next level of growth. So I'm so excited to have Danielle. Welcome, Danielle, to the Thrive Collective.
Thank you, Rob. It's nice to connect in person. I know your Profit First professional, Dan Dogs, with Every Single Bean. And he connected us a while back and shared a story about your experiences with Profit First that I actually shared on the podcast a while back. So I'm so glad that we're actually getting to connect face to face via Zoom and on your podcast.
Here we are. Yes, here we are. It's such an honor for us. So I just love Profit First. And by the way, Thrive Collective, if you have not yet, go to Amazon right now, fill your shopping cart with Profit First, Mike Michalowicz. Holy smokes. Talk about revolutionizing the way you handle cash flow for your organization, just to give a sense of traction and grip to the overarching cash flow and financial management. And Danielle, certainly cash flow is a key piece of what you coach businesses with. And a piece of that is how do you even generate cash flow just selling their products and services? So we'd just love to hear from you. What are some of the challenges and some of the ideas that business owners face when it comes to creating pricing for their products?
So, what's interesting is Profit First is a cash management system, and it's based off of the premise that you have a rhythm to your business. And so you take in deposits and you take that money into your income account, and then you let it just sit there, and it grows over time, over the days between your allocation days, your designated scheduled allocation days. And then you allocate from your income account to your profit account, your owner's pay account, your tax account, and your operating expense account. And there are only 2 ways to increase profitability. And the first way is to increase margin, and the second way is to decrease expenses. So margin, your pricing is incredibly important if you are struggling with profitability. That is probably where the biggest problem to your profitability is in your margin. A lot of people think that selling more, I'll just sell more, I'll work harder. That won't solve your profit problem. Your profit problem is in your margin and or in overspending on expenses. So margin is your pricing and how you price yourself. And that difference between what you price and what it costs you to produce or deliver that is your margin.
Yeah, so if you think about this at different stages of the entrepreneurial journey, for solopreneurs who are starting out there, you may think, well, what cost do I have? It's just my time for my service. Don't limit yourself there. What Danielle is talking about is building the future state of your business to take your business to the next level. What margin is going to be necessary for you to charge on those services to really scale effectively, to have that surplus to hire staff and so on, and to build infrastructure? Or later on in the in your business journey as well. I mean, you're going to be facing this pricing question, almost unending, throughout your career in business. So yeah, talk to us, Danielle. So how does a business functionally generate a pricing structure or decide on their rates? I mean, what sort of things have you seen from your work as a business coach?
So I think that what most businesses have failed to do at this stage is they started a business because they're incredibly passionate about what they do, and the business has just kind of happened and kind of evolved, and they've added staff, and they've just been trying to keep up with things and deliver and deliver and deliver. But what they haven't done recently probably is reverse engineer their business. So a lot of entrepreneurs, and this is why Profit First is such a great cash management system, because it helps prioritize the way that the money should flow in your business. You prioritize to profit, to owner's pay, to tax, and to operating expenses. Your most valuable employee is you. And sadly, most entrepreneurs, 83% of small businesses are operating check to check. And most of the time, when a business is operating check to check, the money comes in, they pay the expenses, and then there seems to be nothing left over to pay the owner, the most important person in the business. So it's really important to understand what you need to pay yourself in your business. That's actually like the cornerstone of where you start in terms of figuring out what your pricing should be, because you have a family, you need to put a roof over your head, you need to put food on the table, you need to get to and from work, you need to get your kids to and from school and their activities. And so the place to actually start when you're looking at how much you should be charging is how much do you need to take home in the form of owner's pay to cover your bills. And that is kind of the point that then helps you generate what your income needs to be, how much you're going to sell, and then you can reverse engineer to the number of sales and such. But what you do is you start with that owner's pay, and then you put that into the target allocation percentages table that is in the book Profit First. It's available online, tons of places too. Just Google target allocation percentages and Profit First, and you'll find them. And so you'll look at that and you'll see based off of your target total revenue, what percentage of that total revenue is owner's pay. And so then you back into, well, if I need to make this much in terms of owner's pay, here's the percentage. It actually will tell you where you need to be. And then you can plug in and figure out, once you figure out that total or that real revenue number, you can back in to figure out what your profit should be and such. And then that really kind of helps you back into what your pricing should be, so that your business and what you're selling and how much margin you're making and what you're spending in expenses still leaves enough for you to have a profit distribution, have money to pay your taxes, but most importantly, pay you the owner's pay that you so deserve as your company's most valuable employee.
So I love this conversation, Danielle, because we're not talking about, oh, we just all need to go out and raise our prices, or we need to just choose what the competition's choosing. What Danielle is telling us, Thrive Collective, is to start with, what's your preferred future? What does your life need to look like as a business owner? Create some sense of, what does your ideal vacation schedule look like? The amount of time that you want to work, the hours in the week, and so on. What does it actually look like to live your best life? If this is the end outcome, what kind of resources do you need to generate in order to create the fulfillment of that life, your preferred future in that? And then I love Profit First because there's so many easy tools that you can use with this. Danielle's talked about this target allocation, tool that basically you plug that number in and it tells you, well, what you need to earn. So for instance, if you're in that kind of first category, as I'm thinking through the book, let's say that your owner's comp is at 50% of your gross revenue and your ideal outcome is to live with $100,000. Well, now you know your business really needs to generate $200,000 to get off the ground. It gives you some handlebars to know if you're on the right path. And by doing that, you're paying your taxes, you're paying your people, you're paying your outsource. I mean, all of it, it all works because, there's a category for everything. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly. And the best time to start Profit First is if you're a startup, because no different. So you can actually start your business doing it right. Businesses that have been in business for several years, it's a little bit more painful to go from their current allocation percentage, which is likely, 0% in profit. And we define profit as cold card cash in the bank in your profit hold account, different than your accounting income statement profit bottom line. But it takes a little bit of time of adjusting, but over time it works. And the faster that you can get there, if you've already have an existing business and you're not quite at the profit level that you'd like to be, then again, one of the biggest ways to increase that is to increase your margin.
Yeah, amen. I think all of us listening in right now, Danielle, would say, what does it take to increase our margin? That is a great idea. I'm in. Now what? So any advice that you'd give somebody who kind of wakes up in that space?
Yeah, I would suggest four tips. The first thing is, know what your competitors are charging. That is number one. I can't tell you how many times I do also in my spare time consult with preschools, and it is just, they're so in it, and they do modest increases every year, typically, but they have never shopped their competition. They have no idea what the preschool down the street and around the corner is charging. And, when I've challenged them to, hey, why don't you figure this out? Most of the time you can get it online for free. They are gobsmacked. They are 10, 15, 20. I've seen 30% below their competitors around the corner. And in talking to these people and knowing preschools and such, I can already tell they have a highly quality program. They should actually be the highest priced preschool in the neighborhood compared to the other ones, especially the franchise models. No slamming on the franchise models, but they typically charge the highest. So that is a big eye opener, because I'm sure your audience, I know without a doubt, they are serving their customers and guiding their customers and putting their heart and soul into it like no other business in their space or their competitors. And so if you're giving that level of service, then you need to be at the top, which is the second challenge, is make sure that you're at the top range of pricing. You will attract better customers if you have a higher price. I don't know what the phenomenon is or what, but when you charge a lower price, you get that nickel and diming customer who is going to just want more. They don't understand the value of what you're giving, and they're already upset that they're having to pay you to do this. When you up level your customer, you get a different type of customer who really values what you're doing for them and the services that you're providing them. So the second idea, or the second challenge, is to just boom, put your prices up at the top against your competitors. And then
Love that. Love it, Danielle. Just reflections on that pricing. Um, your pricing is so much a part of your brand. When we're working with clients as a StoryBrand certified guide, I'm working with clients to set some of their pricing. If I told you, when I'm teaching, sometimes I'll do this. I'll say, if I told you I had a car for sale and that car is worth $500, or if I told you I had a car for sale and that car is worth $50,000, knowing nothing else about the car, you have assumptions about what those cars look like. So pricing is so much a part of your brand. And I love Danielle's advice to us to try to be at that top tier of whatever that competitive range is. Because here's the deal. If you're focused on discounts and coupons, you're going to be fighting those client conversations that are just nagging and challenging. But if you're focused on generating value for your clients, then you should be 10xing their return. It easily cost justifies an hour of your time because the value you generate out of that is so much more worth it. So have that conversation. I love that, Danielle. It is so good to hear your advice in that regard. So, okay, that's two ideas. You got all sorts of ideas that I know you brought to us today, but I'm over here jumping with excitement. Like, okay, I can't wait to share this. This is great. What else you got?
So two more tips. And tip number 3 is that you need to recognize that you can't serve everyone. So there's only so much capacity that you have, and you will disappoint people with your price point. There will be people who cannot afford you, but for every person that cannot afford you, I promise you, there are 10 more who can afford you. And you just need to focus and hone in on that higher margin client and just let go. One of the ways, to be honest, that I feel like I'm paying it forward for the people that, can't afford to work one-on-one with me is the podcast. So find another outlet where you can help people if that is what you desire, but you can't compromise your prices to help. I can't compromise my prices, I'm sorry, to help a startup. But I'm helping startups via the podcast. And then tip number 4 is, you kind of talked about this too, avoid the discounting, avoid taking a price off. I had some young men who started a window washing business while they're in college, and they came to my house and gave me a quote to do my windows and said, oh, it's going to be, and I don't remember the quote, but let's just say it's going to be $395, but I'm going to give you a 20% discount today. And I said, excuse me? Did I ask for a discount? You're here in my house. You see my dirty windows. I called you here. You gave me a price and I said I couldn't even breathe, and you offered me a discount. So I handed them Profit First and I said, please read this book. And my contact information is inside. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to give you, answer your questions. So I did give them a free call. So sometimes occasionally I, find someone who needs a little guidance and such. And they've been great. They've subsequently graduated from college with engineering degrees, and they are making this business full time. They've reverse engineered their business. They've increased their prices. They have positioned themselves as the higher priced individual, but their work is totally worth it. They're in and out. They do it quickly because they bring in 2 or 3 guys to do it, not just one guy. So they really have it going on. But don't discount. Don't think you'll close a sale with a discount. If you feel like you have to close the sale, then what I recommend is adding bonuses. So adding something else to sweeten the deal to make them get that sense of urgency. So, add a bonus of, hey, if we do this right now, then I'll throw in 2 additional consult calls, or I'll, speak to one of your groups or something like that. But add more value. Do not discount your price, because then you're lowering your margin.
Yeah, and it becomes about price when you make it about price too. Do you see that, especially in the consulting world? If you want to use discounts and coupons as your marketing tactic, you'll be talking about discounts the rest of your career. But if you wanted to make it about value, which ultimately is the reason they picked up the phone to call you in the first place, that client, then it'll be about that. And that ultimately, I got to ask you, Thrive Collective, which is more fulfilling? Which do you want to build your career on, generating value or offering cheap discounts? Hopefully, if you're listening this far into the episode, you're thinking about value first. So I love that. And also, Danielle, I got to ask you, if a window washing business wants to get a hold of you, what would be? it sounds like you'd have a great house to window wash, because you get all that free business coaching along with it. So that team is very lucky.
I'm loyal. I'm loyal to orange window washing.
Yeah. I love it. So, Thrive Collective, we want to know then. So you're coaching this company. You didn't take the discount, did you? You coached them otherwise.
Yeah, I told them I would not take the discount.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for you. Good for you. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So pricing strategies, adding bonuses, adding additional value. That's a key pricing strategy that you can consider. Don't discount. I love Danielle's encouragement for us, gang. But add additional bonuses and value. Are there any other strategies or tools that you've leaned into in the past, Danielle, that have been helpful to small business owners as they've chosen pricing strategies for them?
Well, Goldilocks pricing is also a popular type of pricing, especially if you have packages that you want to sell. And so what Goldilocks pricing is sort of based off of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So when Goldilocks went in, it was, oh, this is too big. Oh, this is too small. And then it was, oh, this one is just right. So ideally in Goldilocks pricing, you want to offer 3 prices or 3 packages. And the middle package is the Goldilocks just right. And that is also your sweet spot. So this is the package that is scalable for you to deliver. This is the package that involves what you love doing. And so you really model it based off of this just right pricing, because this is where you want the majority of your customers, what package you want them to purchase. And you also offer the Papa Bear package, and that would be the package that just has all these bells and whistles, but it also comes at a significant price. Your Papa Bear pricing should be 2.5 times what your Goldilocks pricing is. And then you've got your kind of entry level, your Baby Bear pricing, and that one is going to be 50% of your base pricing, but real slim down. You don't take 50% of what you would do at the Goldilocks level and put that down at the Baby Bear pricing. You only give them a third or a quarter of what would you do for the baseline pricing, but you price it at 50%, because you really want people, you're going to have great results with your clients if you can, the more of the Goldilocks packages that you can sell, because that is your sweet spot. That's the package that you've designed, that you can get results for your clients. You'll have maybe 10 to 15% of customers want to buy your Papa Bear, your super Cadillac version of your pricing. And then that kind of tells you, based off of demand, how you flow and if you're right in terms of your pricing. And then the other thing is that when you present this pricing to your customer, you want to lead with the most expensive package, Then you move down to that Goldilocks, that middle package, and then the basic baby bear package.
Oh my goodness. Thrive Collective, pause, rewind, and listen to this last 4 minutes 100 times. This is gold that Danielle is sharing with us. Goldilocks pricing. So if your target package is $100, hypothetically, package A starts at 50, package C is 250, and package kind of B, which is your ultimate goal, 100. A very, very interesting pricing strategy. I've heard it said, I don't know if Danielle, if you've heard this, but people actually feel better at that B, the Goldilocks, the middle package, knowing they could have gone higher, but decided not to, but they're not at the very, very bottom. Is that true? Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, there's definitely that psychological, I'm putting into this what I should be putting into this. And I'm not going totally bare bones, but you've also structured that bare bones, that baby bear package to not have, like, again, you price it 50% of what your Goldilocks package is, but you don't just give them 50% of the value. You take the value down to a quarter, 25% or 30% of what you would deliver in that Goldilocks package. You don't want to make it attractive, to be honest. I mean, so there is a psychological kind of Jedi mind tricks going on and such. But it's only to help you get your customer to the sweet spot that you can come together with them, charge them what you're valued at, and help them achieve the results that you want. That's probably one of the biggest things, is that, when you discount your pricing, and when you have someone who is very price sensitive to things and wants the lowest priced person, they're not going to achieve results, and they're going to get frustrated, and you're going to feel horrible, and you're going to probably put more into it. And then that just whittles away more at your margin and such. So it's really just getting everyone aligned to being, this is where we need to be. This is what we need to charge. This is what you need to pay for us to work together to achieve the results that I want to deliver to you, and that I know you want to see a return on your investment of spending this Goldilocks pricing with me.
Yeah, if you're going to dedicate the bandwidth and expertise to serving that client well, you need a business model that supports that. And it can't thrive with margin, running around discounting and being the bottom shelf offering. You really need to value yourself. So Thrive Collective, if listen to this tomorrow morning when you're getting ready, look yourself in the mirror and speak value into yourself, into your belief system. You are worth getting the price that you deserve. You're worth it. And so don't let any kind of limiting belief or mindset hold you back from that. Pricing or discount is not a marketing strategy. Lean into the true sense of the value you create for your clients and price boldly and confidently in that. You're worth every penny to those clients that you serve. And so lean into that. Danielle, it's like you talk Jedi mind trick. I feel I'm sitting at the young and thriving Yoda, the feet of the young and thriving pricing Yoda here, not the original Star Wars. And actually, that's probably a very terrible analogy for any woman. I'm very sorry.
Oh,
but you know what I'm saying.
I'll be cute baby Yoda.
Hey, cute baby Yoda. You can take cute baby Yoda. Hey, any final words you'd like to leave the Thrive Collective with? And then as you're wrapping up as well, I would just love for you to let us know if our crew, if our tribe wants to follow you, listen to your podcast, what would be a good way for them to do that?
Sure, of course. Well, if there's only one thing I can leave with the Thrive Collective, it is that there are only two ways to increase your profitability. Number one, increase margin, and number two, decrease expenses. Selling more doesn't work. You can only increase your margin and decrease your expenses to impact and improve your profitability. And I would love to invite the Thrive Collective to our podcast, Profit First Nation. It's available on Apple Podcasts, all the different podcast platforms. And we do put out a resource every week with each episode that kind of helps you follow along, gives you some guidance. We do talk about pricing. It's in a future episode, so I don't know exactly when that one's going to launch, but we actually will have a resource available that outlines the Goldilocks pricing. So, but you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a special link, and I'm going to put that resource out now, and it will be profitfirstnation.com/thrive, all lowercase. So profitfirstnation.com/thrive. And we will put out, you will get the bonus of the Goldilocks pricing strategy as a PDF for you because you guys are so awesome.
Well, gee whiz, thank you so much, Danielle. What a gift you are to the Thrive Collective community. What a gift you are to Profit First Nation and to small business owners and entrepreneurs all over the world tuning into your podcast and ultimately benefiting from your wisdom, how to help their businesses grow and accelerate that growth. Thank you for your investment of time with the Thrive Collective today. It's just been a joy to have you. We'll put that link, Thrive Collective, in the show notes here. So if you're listening on Apple iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're tuning in, look in the description. We'll be sure to include that link in the show notes below. Hey, entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders, this is your community. The Thrive Collective exists to help you make more money, hopefully at a better margin, avoid costly mistakes, and fully integrate your faith into your life and leadership. Again, as your host, it's an honor to serve you through this. Danielle, thank you for being a guest today, and we wish you well. Look forward to seeing you over at the Profit First Nation podcast.
Cheers to another profitable day, Rob.